It has been said that spiritual growth and finding our inner peace is the highest form of service we can offer the world. It is also said that we should serve in a more physical and practical way on the planet as well. How can we find the right balance between the silence and the solitude that is so often conducive to spiritual progress and interacting in the physical world with all of its politics to do more tangible seva? So it's actually not an either or. The question at its core really says, how am I able to be beneficial to the world through my meditation and the peace I attain, and also beneficial to the world through my service? How to do both? Well, interestingly, they're not separate things. It's not either I'm doing this or I'm doing that. Ultimately, what the goal of our spiritual practice is, the goal of our silence, the goal of our meditation, is not just something we do at one time of day and then other times of day we do something else. The goal ultimately is that my meditation should be so strong and so deep that it actually stays with me. You know, if you take something very like food, so you eat a meal, you feel very satiated, you feel very full, and then there's a very direct relationship between the amount of time since you have eaten and the fullness of your stomach. The longer since you've eaten, the emptier your stomach, the hungrier you are. Spiritual practice shouldn't be like that. It's not about I do my meditation to fill my stomach, and then as the minutes or hours go by since I've meditated, I'm slowly getting emptier and emptier and emptier. And then I go back and meditate again and get full. And then I go out and I use this energy and get emptier and emptier. Ideally, that's not how it should be. The meditation that I do is something that should stay with me. Yes, we have to keep doing it. Yes, we do it every morning. We do it every evening. But it's not about doing it because my stomach, metaphorically, is empty and therefore I have to fill it again. The experience that I have in meditation of the truth of who I am, which is one with the universe, is something that should stay with me. If you fall in love with someone in the morning, you don't forget during the day that you're in love. You may get busy, absolutely, but in your mind, you know you are in love. Now, there may be a time of the day when it's just the two of you together and you're able to just look in his or her eyes and be in love. And the rest of the day, you don't necessarily have the time to, take your mala and be chanting his or her name on your mala. But you don't forget that you're in love. It's as though there were a stream or a river that flowed through you all day long, no matter what you did. And that love was the stream that flowed through you, regardless of where you are. And that's what meditation should be like. So if we're looking for metaphors much more than the metaphor of a full stomach that gets empty, it should be the metaphor of the falling in love and then going out to the office. So yeah, you get engaged in the day, you're engaged in your service, but you know you're in love. Every minute, every moment, it's swimming through you, informing, impacting all of how you live during the day. It's not like when you pull up at home in the night, then you remember, oh yeah, wait, I'm in love, I totally forgot. You remember it during the day too. And so our meditation and the impact that it has on us is something that impacts, informs, flows through our service during the day. That's ultimately what is the difference really between seva and volunteering. Volunteering is great. It's a wonderful thing to do. I'm always in favor of people all over the world doing as much volunteer work as they can. Helps us on so many levels. But it's different than seva, in that volunteering is very, very good for my emotional well-being. So for example, if you're depressed, one of the best ways to ease yourself out of depression is service of others. Fantastic antidote to depression. Get yourself involved in a project, a program, a volunteer organization that is making sandwiches for poor people, that is distributing blankets to the homeless at night, that is working with children, working with battered women. But seva is impacting me on a spiritual level, not just emotional, not just psychological. Seva's changing who I am spiritually. Both of them benefit the world. The hungry people, the ailing people, the children, the women, the environment. Doesn't much matter to them whether I've served them in a spirit of volunteerism or I've served them in a spirit of seva. They've gotten a sandwich. They've gotten a blanket. They've gotten an education. They've gotten help from someone who cares. In either case, here I am as a caring individual. But to me, it's a huge difference. To my spiritual growth, it's a huge difference. Seva is a spiritual practice, which means it is not different, not separate from my meditation on the cushion in the morning, my yoga on the mat. Seva's a very natural and automatic outcome of my meditation and my yoga. It is meditation, it is yoga, but just on a different mat, on a different cushion. But it stems out of the exact same experience of being one with the world. And it brings us the same experience. As meditation connects us to the divine and therefore to all of that which is divine. That's what seva does. Volunteerism or humanitarian work could be me over here, the one who has, serving you over there, the ones who don't have. I am the giver, you are the receiver. I am the provider, you are the recipient. But seva, I'm serving myself. There's no distinction. There's no giver over here. There's no one who has over here. The divine grace is flowing through us. It's flowing through me in one way, through you in another way, but connecting us. My service is the channel through which grace is flowing between us. That service is the channel for grace. And that grace is not flowing from me to you. It's flowing through me and through you. Like a river flowing through both banks. One bank is me, one bank is you. And flowing through us is this river of grace. And the service is that river. So if I'm talking about seva, it's not about do I meditate or do I serve. It's about sometimes my meditation is with my legs crossed and my eyes closed and I'm sitting in a dark room. And sometimes my meditation is with my legs straight and I'm standing, or I'm sitting at a computer, or I'm doing something with my hands. Not a distinction other than the most, superficial of are my legs crossed or are they straight, or am I standing or am I sitting, or, but it's all meditation. It's all yoga. And ultimately that's the goal. And that's what's most beneficial, both to the world as well as to us. Because while a sandwich or a blanket or a school might be the same on a literal level, whether someone gets it by seva or someone gets it by philanthropy or volunteerism or humanitarian work, on a physical level it's the same. But on an energetic level it's actually very different. And being served by someone who is serving you as the self gives you not just a sandwich, not just a blanket, not just a school, not just a tree, not just a toilet, but it brings that flow of grace to you through that channel of service. And so you're actually gaining much more than the physical benefit. And those of us who are giving are actually gaining. Because that grace only flows through that river of service. If I decide, well, I'm just going to sit here and soak up the grace without serving, what you find is it dries up actually really quickly. The service is that channel for the grace. And if I cut off the channel, I cut myself off from grace. And so we serve as a flow of grace. And yeah, the meditation connects us. It charges our batteries. So we do both, but with an awareness that ultimately at the highest level, it's really the same.